Jeff, what are you thinking about the new Compass?
When I saw the pictures of this, I was like, oh my God, the only explanation is they've been listening to Car-Pinionated.
Welcome back to Car-Pinionated, our weekly show on cars, the car industry, and driving in general. This week we're talking about Jeeps. But after we recorded this episode, Jeep introduced a new Jeep Cherokee. So we don't mention it in this episode because we didn't know about it. But we're going to talk about the Compass and some other things, and then we will deal with the Jeep Cherokee in another episode. Welcome back to Car Opinionated, our weekly show on cars, the car industry, and driving in general. I'm Doug Stewart, digital executive producer for Fox 61 in Hartford. And joining me is my brother Dave from beautiful Denver, Colorado, and Jeff Buchholz, a writer and editor at WBBM in Chicago. Gentlemen, so the Jeep company has done something smart, in my opinion. They have redesigned the Compass, a thoroughly forgettable vehicle in ity iteration. And the first generation was, is that a Compass or a Patriot? I don't know which one it is. Second generation was, is that a Compass or a Cherokee? I don't know which it is. And they don't put the nameplate on the back anyway. So they have developed a new Compass, and they've introduced it in Europe, and it has a hybrid engine, a plug-in hybrid, and an EV version, apparently. Did I get that right, Jeff?
I think so, yeah. That sounds right.
Um, and so, but here's the thing about it. It looks great. It really, really does. And it goes back to what I said a couple months ago, that they should make another vehicle that has that character of the XJ, the original XJ, which was such a great car, such a great vehicle. And I think you have the bones there for this. Jeff, what are you thinking about the new Compass?
When I saw the pictures of this, I was like, oh my God, the only explanation is they've been listening to Car-Pinionated. We've, when we I'm old enough to remember when we fixed Stellantis in a previous edition of this podcast, and we said that one of the big mistakes they were making was not having a competitive Jeep player in the small compact SUV space. That they were getting their clocks cleaned by not having something really credible to go up against the RAV4 and the CRV and the Subaru Crosstrek and all of these other cars in this space. And lo and behold, here it is. It is a small SUV with the sort of rugged looks that you want from a Jeep, and is powered with an eye toward the times that we live in. And it provides hybrid and plug-in hybrid availability, which is, I think, kind of the sweet spot for electrification in cars right now, since no one's really sure what's happening with, incentives for EVs, or where the American policy is going to be vis-a-vis Europe. Um, and it having hybrid and plug-in hybrid really helps them get through that, and also lowers the potential barrier to ownership for people who are like, God, I really would like to have something that is somewhat electrified and I can drive around in EV mode, but that I don't have to like put a charger at my house, or I live in an apartment and I can't run an extension cord out the window, or the landlord will get upset, whatever. And it helps that it's just so darn handsome. You are right. It is, and I'm sure that it is rife with the kind of Jeep themed Easter eggs that have become sort of a hallmark of the brand.
Mhm.
I think depending on how much the thing costs when it finally gets here, and where it gets built, which is an open question for all the
Right.
American car makers now. I think it's a winner. I think it's got tons of potential, and may be the thing to start pulling Jeep out of the sort of morass that it's in now with the Wrangler's fine, but the Gladiator is not selling. The Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer are boat anchors. The Grand Cherokee is meh. It is a brand very much in need of a shot in the arm, and hopefully, this Compass will be what does it.
Dave, what are you thinking about the new Compass?
I got distracted by looking at this apparent Jeep Recon,
Oh, that's also
uh,
good.
which is
Yeah.
also
That's fun.
which appears to be some kind of all electric thing, or at least some electric thing.
Mhm.
What it looks like, there's a picture of it here with the doors off, and what it makes me think
Mm.
of is we were thinking about making an electric Wrangler, and then we said nobody would buy that. So we'll make something else that you can take the doors off.
Yeah. And they left the mirrors on the doors. They didn't learn the Bronco lesson.
Oh, okay.
Because in the Bronco, the mirrors are attached to the A-pillars, I think,
Oh, really?
or yeah. And on the Jeeps, they're attached to the doors. So when you take the doors off, you don't have any rear view mirrors. But I agree. I think that Recon is a sharp looking vehicle. And correct me if I'm wrong, both the Compass and the Recon are hail from Europe.
Yes,
I
that's correct.
There's quite a lot of Stellantis electric stuff in Europe that they don't do at all here. But you can
Mhm.
they used to have that the one that was shared a platform with the Fiat 500,
Mhm.
the Jeep
The
model.
Renegade. That was
Yeah,
the
okay.
Renegade that was the
And
500X, right?
yeah, and there's an electric version of that in Europe as well.
So we've talked a little bit about the um, to just jump in here because I just did a little bit of research while we've been recording. Stellantis has in fact said that they are pausing development of the North American Compass
Mhm.
because of uncertainty brought on by tariffs. It would
Okay.
have been built in Brampton
Brampton, yeah.
in
Yep.
Canada. So, which depending on what day you call the White House is or is not the 51st state. Um, that aside, I sure hope they figure some way to bring it here. I thought that maybe it would come to Belvedere, which has
Mhm.
been idle since they wrapped production on. I think they were building the Cherokee there,
Mhm.
but evidently Belvedere is being set aside for a new mid-sized truck that's coming in a couple of years.
Ah,
So,
the
yeah,
return of the
just
Dakota.
well, or something. It's
Yeah.
apparently not going to, whatever it is, it's not going to be electric because they had planned to put like a battery facility on the Belvedere campus, and they've now decided not to do that.
Mm.
So they're just retooling it for whatever this new car is or whatever this new mid-sized truck is. But
And
yeah,
that
they
is
the
so desperately needed. That
yeah.
like Toyota owned that market for itself for so long, and then the Ranger came along and did a great job, you know, carving out their niche. And I think that Colorado Canyon, they were there, but I don't think they
Mhm.
were. Uh,
It's a
um,
good truck. I mean, the Colorado and Canyon is a good truck. I mean, it's always kind of been an okay truck, but this it's a really good truck.
Dave, do you see a lot
Um,
of Colorados in Colorado?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I don't see nearly as many canyons.
mhm.
Our dad, David, my dad, had a Dakota for a long time, and he really liked it. And it stuck around after he couldn't drive any longer. I would see it in the area. It like
Hmm.
was here for a while, was at a garage nearby for a while, and it was always around. He thought that was a great truck,
Hmm.
which and it was like a really good size. It wasn't too massive, and you know, ran forever. Did that had a V6 in it, Dave, didn't it? Or
No, it
V8?
had the V8. That's why he liked it because I had the opportunity to tow his trailer with the Ranger, and it was really struggling. And
Yeah.
then when you towed with the Dakota, it was a lot different. It was like, oh, this is very nice.
Yeah.
That's why you like the Dakota. But the like the 318 uh 5.2 liter V8.
Yeah. Classic engine. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I remember in the 80s I was covering I covered a National Governors Association summer meeting, which happened in northern Michigan. And Lee Iacocca was like the big marquee speaker in one day. And, so he does his thing. And this is at a time when he was like running the Statue of Liberty Preservation Foundation, and people were kicking his name around as a potential presidential candidate.
Hmm.
Like the guy was kind of everywhere, getting tons of credit for like saving Chrysler and inventing the minivan and all of this other stuff. And so he's at this thing, and the governor of, I think it was North Dakota, was like talking and talking, got up and was asking a question and, praising Lee Iacocca. And he responds, I go, thanks. We named a truck after your state. It was cute. It
Yeah.
was cute. The guy could work a room. There's no
Right.
question about it. Of course, the president of the National Governors Association at that time was at that time a fairly less well-known governor of Arkansas,
Oh.
named William Jefferson Clinton, and we all know what happened to that guy. He played the saxophone on Arsenio Hall, and the rest
Right.
was history.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Um,
I
when,
just saw, back to Jeep for just a second.
okay.
We were driving home from the burbs last night, and I was driving by and I saw someone pulling out of a driveway in a scrambler.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was nice. Like it was a good one too. It was like the Laredo package with the chrome grill and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. And the top was off of it as God intended scramblers to be. And I'm like, boy, that was an example of a truck that was fun, that people would buy, and that the Gladiator completely misses the mark on.
Right. Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's so hard to find scramblers now. Like they're actually rare. And of course, they were built at a time that, Jeeps rusted within a year. So,
Exactly.
but boy, that, they just need something fun,
Yeah.
something,
Yeah. That has whimsy. That has
yeah.
that sort of indefinable quality of, you know, hey, that's fun. Hey, that's
Mhm,
cool. The Surrey with the fringe on top. Not specifically, but that sort of feeling.
mhm.
Because yesterday, I saw a Gladiator in a parking lot at the deli, right? And
Mhm.
he's backing up, and like one set of wheels goes over the curb to back up, and then the other set of wheels, like that's the most off-roading this has seen since it rolled off the factory,
Yes,
you
yes,
know?
yeah.
And
No one's taking those off road. They're terrible off road vehicles
right.
because the pitch angles are all wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get it. Um, the I want to tell one Dakota story though. Um, so when my dad was going to buy this truck, right, there were two he was looking at. There was the black one and this red one, right? And he's talking to me. He says, I don't know which I should go, kind of go back and forth. I said, the black's gonna scratch easy. It's just,
Hmm.
like, yeah, okay. So he goes to Dave. And Dave, I don't remember where you were living at the time. He's on the phone with Dave. Yeah, I got the red one or the black one. I don't know which. And Dave goes, yeah, it scratches easy though, Dad. It really does. Talks to Jeff. Red one or the black one? Oh, that black one will scratch like hell. That's what your brother said to me. Blah, blah, blah. And we bought the black one.
Why did we even do this?
Why do we ask?
That's 30 seconds of our lives we won't get
Yeah.
back. Gosh, I worked with a guy years ago who owned a Dakota convertible.
Oh, those were fun.
You talk about whimsy, man.
Right?
That thing had whimsy all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were those
That's
like they would send them off to the American Sunroof Corporation?
Yeah, I think
I
they
think
were,
so.
and I think it was an ASC job. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't sell a ton of them, but they were really fun and different and interesting. You know,
Yeah.
everything that we want Jeep to be now. It's just, you know, it's yeah.
Maybe they can make a slate convertible.
There you go.
I mean, if you can option every other top, why not
Yeah.
option
Yeah.
a Targa?
Here's
Yeah.
something that you guys forgot.
Yeah.
They have like a lowered, they call it a JDM model. It's like
Hmm.
lowered and
The street truck. Yeah.
with fender flares and everything like that. Yeah.
The Maverick Lobo, only electric.
Uh,
All right. Well, good. At least there's some glimmer on the horizon for Jeep.
Yeah, they have opened orders in Europe for the new Compass,
Yeah.
and I hope that the folks over there love them because they're
Mhm.
far more interesting than anything else on that Stellantis platform they're using. Like the Opel Grandland or whatever it's called, forget about it. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Last week I talked to Brian Moody from Kelly Blue Book and Auto Trader, and we talked a little bit about Stellantis. I wanted to talk a little bit about Stellantis, um, perennially troubled Stellantis Corporation. What do you see as their immediate future?
Put Americans in charge of the American brands right now. Do it tomorrow. The reason I say that is because I think a lot of the missteps are a result of that kind of thing.
And it's exactly right. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, in this case, I understand. I mean, it's a global company. It has to do a lot of
Yeah.
sharing,
Hmm.
but you know, I don't think you would have come out with the mistakes that they've made. I don't.
No. No, and I mean, that's down to Carlos Tavares thinking he knows better than, you know, all of the people
Yeah.
in Auburn Hills and everywhere else about what the American market needs,
Yeah.
you know, and it worked out super well for him.
Yeah.
You know, he's one double base case away from being Carlos Ghosn, I think.
You got to that before I did. I was trying
Yeah.
to figure out how to get to that one, but yeah. All right, we're gonna close it up for another week here. We're gonna land this plane. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Dave, it's been great having you here as our guest commentator, guest host. Jeff, always a pleasure. And to you in the audience, we appreciate your, saying nice things about our little show here. And we will be back next time.